Way before we had apps to meditate, yoga mats in living rooms, and the word karma on coffee mugs, there was a man, sitting under a tree, not chasing fame, not asking for anything, just searching for something more. That quiet search would ripple across the world for over 2,500 years, becoming one of the most influential spiritual traditions in human history. This is the story of Buddhism, how it began, what it teaches, how it spread, and why millions still follow its path today. Let's rewind. Somewhere around the 5th century BCE, in what is now Nepal, a prince named Siddhartha Gautama was born into luxury. Think palaces, fine food, silk sheets, the whole royal starter pack. But no amount of comfort could shield him from the truth of the world outside. One day, he stepped beyond the palace gates and saw suffering, old age, illness, and death. That changed everything. He left his wealth, title, and family in search of something deeper. What could possibly explain all this pain? And more importantly, how do we stop it? Spoiler: he didn't find the answer overnight. He tried extreme self-denial, eating almost nothing and living in caves. But starving yourself into wisdom? Not exactly effective. Eventually, Siddhartha sat under a Bodhi tree in deep meditation and found it. Enlightenment, peace beyond suffering. The moment he became the Buddha, the awakened one. So what did the Buddha realize? That life is full of suffering, but it's not without cause. And it's definitely not without a solution. Buddhism doesn't worship gods in the traditional sense. There's no all-powerful being watching over you. Instead, it offers a path, a clear, practical one, to reach a state called nirvana, where suffering ends and the self dissolves. It's not a place, it's a state of freedom, of letting go. At the heart of it are the Four Noble Truths, which unpack the nature of suffering and how to overcome it. And to do that, you walk something called the Middle Way, also known as the Eightfold Path. It's about living in balance, not too soft, not too hard, just right. Think of it like Goldilocks with spiritual depth. This path includes right actions, right speech, and right intention. But perhaps the most important tool is meditation, quieting the mind to see things clearly, to understand impermanence, to feel compassion, to stop chasing things that never last. Now, here's where things might sound familiar to Hindus, but Buddhism gives them a twist. Karma. Your actions shape your future, not just spiritually, but practically. What you do, say, and even think has real consequences. You're not punished or rewarded by gods, you create your own path. Samsara, rebirth. Life doesn't end when you die. You're born again, over and over, each life shaped by the karma you've built. But unlike Hinduism, Buddhism doesn't talk about a permanent soul being reborn. Instead, it offers the idea of anatta, no fixed self, no eternal you. The person you are is a collection of experiences, thoughts, memories, and habits, constantly changing. Rebirth happens, but it's like a flame passed from one candle to another. Continuity without identity. And here's the key. Buddhism shifts the focus inward. It doesn't care about your caste, it doesn't require rituals or priests. Enlightenment is for anyone who's ready to wake up. That idea? Radically inclusive, especially for people ignored by the old systems. After the Buddha's death, his teachings were passed down orally, generation after generation. It wasn't until around the 1st century BCE that they were written down. From there, Buddhism spread, fast. By the 3rd century BCE, Emperor Ashoka of India, once a warrior king, had a change of heart and embraced Buddhism. He helped turn it from a local movement into a global force. He even sent missionaries as far as Sri Lanka and Central Asia. Then came the Silk Road. Traders, monks, and travelers carried Buddhist ideas across mountains and deserts into China, where it mingled with Taoism and blossomed into something uniquely Chinese. It reached Tibet, Japan, Thailand, and beyond, adapting to every new culture it met. Flexible, peaceful, powerful. Of course, it wasn't always an easy journey. Buddhist monasteries were destroyed during invasions. New religions and empires rose and fell. In India, where it all began, Buddhism slowly faded from mainstream life by the 12th century, but it never truly disappeared. In Tibet, it thrived, led by spiritual teachers like the Dalai Lama, who who guided both hearts and politics until Chinese rule changed everything in 1959. And then, in a twist no one saw coming, Buddhism quietly made its way west, through immigrants, scholars, and eventually pop culture. Yes, even the Beatles had a Buddhist phase. Today, Buddhism is followed by over 500 million people, from temples in Bangkok to mountain retreats in Tibet to meditation apps on your phone. Its message is still reaching people, not by shouting, not by fear, but by invitation. What the Buddha taught wasn't dogma, it was a challenge. Don't take my word for it. Try it, see if it works. And maybe that's why, thousands of years later, his words still echo. According to legend, on his deathbed, the Buddha didn't say goodbye. He said, "Be your own light."